Let's work. Turn it down and listen to the experts. Gotta give a shout to the Talking Junk Network. Showing love, hosting battles, playing dope joints. The break room topics always staying on point. Never disappoint. We'll never need a makeover. We're here for the takeover like Jehovah. Talking Junk break room takeover on the podcast. Dropping bomb facts on demand like Comcast. Now drop a comment whenever they're going live. Hit the YouTube channel right now and go subscribe. Peace.
Talking Junk Network,
where entertainment lives.
Welcome to Talking Junk.
I'm your host, Jason Melendez.
Live now every week on Fridays.
Talking Junk.
A multitude of professionals in different aspects, different walks of life.
You have to come on and talk junk like a normal person.
Me and my team, whenever we link up, they wanna be drink up. We still gonna relax and have few glasses when there's things to think about. Like I'm nice with the boss when I tend to the bars and I'm not talking drink ups. So tell the bartender that tend to the bar to please pass me a big cup up. And tell that waitress that's waiting on us to put a little ice in it. Now watch the ice become weightless like the spaceships that I be sitting in. Now wait and listen, they're waiting for that tropical twist that'll tickle your taste buds. Now taste some. Yo, I insist it's the drizzle.
Welcome to Talking Junk, the podcast that comes to you live every Friday night with great guests, great topics, and better dialogue than most podcasts out there now. And I keep telling you every week, we're probably one of the only podcasts, if not the only, to go live. And we have a treat for you tonight. Tonight, we don't just have one guest. We don't just have two guests. We got 4 for you and 3 new podcasts for you to feast your ears upon. So tonight, let me bring to you these 3 extraordinary podcasts that only great minds can think up. First, we got Jen and Natalie with the Another Day, Another Vagina podcast. Then we have Mr. Dan Baker for Connect the Dot. And we have Elizabeth Marvel with Try Not to Curse. Well, I do apologize, Elizabeth, because this is not a PG-13 or a PG or a G-rated podcast. We fucking curse.
That's all right. I do too.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Great.
Pretty good. Thank you all for coming on. I appreciate it. This is the first podcast showcase that we're having, and we're going to give you guys a second to get the floor to yourselves. Excuse me. Elizabeth, let's start with you just because you seem to be having a lot of issues tonight with StreamYard. They're being assholes. So let's...
Yeah, StreamYard is clearly not my site.
So what do you stream off of?
I'm on like 7 different platforms. So I don't do any video. It's all audio. I'm on YouTube, Spotify, Audible, Amazon, Google, Podcssts, which is more European podcast, but I have family over there, so that's how they listen to me.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now, what made you start podcasting?
I've wanted to do it for years. I am just really interested in people's stories. That's kind of what I like to do, just sit around and shoot the shit with everybody. So finally, I just decided to pull the trigger and get into it. And it's been really great. I already have 33 episodes and just try to keep it going.
So 33 episodes. How long have you been doing this?
I started in February.
I'm sorry. If you said that, I apologize. I have the worst ADD in the world, and I was trying to get the echo off of here.
No, that's okay. I started in February, so not a full year just yet.
We're almost there. Yeah. So do you do weekly podcasts, or do you kind of do monthly, or just whenever you get a topic that you feel like talking about, you drop one?
I try to do weekly, but it's all about, everybody's schedules. Sometimes it's really hard just to sync up with somebody else. I recently had surgery, so I kind of give my followers updates on the surgery. If I'm missing an episode or two, I fill the time with that. But yeah, I try to post something every Friday.
Okay. Now, what do you mainly? I know. When you first start your podcasting, and everybody could relate here, they try to tell you to start with a niche. Now, I didn't want to be labeled down. I don't want to be boxed in or cornered into one single topic. What do you kind of talk about, or do you go all over the place?
Yeah, it started out that way. I literally, like I said, I just like to sit down with my friends and just talk about different things going on in life. And it's actually turned into, I happen to have friends that all have extremely interesting careers and pretty unique experiences. So it slowly transformed into interviewing people about their careers and how they got to where they are now. So a friend of mine used to be a cheerleader for the New York Jets. So I talk about that experience. I have a friend who's an author. I have a friend who was a member of Survivor, the TV show, 20 years ago. Right. So, I talk to all of them about those experiences, and it's a lot of fun.
I see your picture there. Is Mr. Levy one of those friends?
I wish. We're moving in the direction of trying to reach out to some celebs. I'm going to Australia next year, and I'm hoping to talk to some YouTubers out there on that trip. But that is kind of what I would like to do one day. I go to Comic-Cons, and meeting celebrities is a big part of what I do all the time. So that would be amazing.
That sounds amazing. Now, why don't you give us your pitch? Give the Talking Junk Network viewers your pitch on your podcast. Why exactly should they listen? Where can they find you? And what is your favorite episode so that can draw them in?
Okay. So again, it's called Try Not to Curse. And like I said, it initially started out as just talking with friends and swapping stories about life. Now it has turned into people with interesting careers. I would say a really good episode to start on is episode 5, where I talk to my uncle, who is TikTok famous for being an OG sneakerhead. You can follow him at The Angry Joe. He's really big down in Florida. And it just, he didn't expect to be TikTok famous. He certainly wasn't planning on it. He's 54 years old, and he's just always collected sneakers his entire life, and just kind of got on that platform as a joke, and it turned into this huge thing. Now he has over 100,000 followers. So we just talked to him about that, and about why he is still, posting on TikTok, and just how he's dealing with this newfound celebrity. So that's one of my favorites. And it's like I said, we've got a whole lot of different things going on there. Like I said, I have a friend that was a Jets cheerleader. I also have a friend who owns an aquatic invasive plant removal company, which is, who even knows what that's about. So there's all different
I was just going to
topics.
say that sounds crazy in the most exotic ways.
Yeah, some really unique topics. So it's pretty great.
Well, Elizabeth, thank you very much for coming on and for pitching your podcast to the viewers. I'm sure that they're going to take a look and take a listen to Try Not to Curse, because although YouTube and all the streaming services may not want us to, we got to do it anyway.
Absolutely.
Thank you very right.
And thank you. And please reach out to me if you think you have an interesting job. I'd love to sit down and talk to you and shoot the shit. I am actually going to be interviewing somebody who is a private Disney shopper. So that's all she does every day
Oh,
is
wow.
just go to the parks and pick up unique things. And she just sent me something that I ordered from her. So yeah, so there's all kinds of people out there and I'd love to hear their stories.
That sounds amazing. Now I'm going to send you my calendar so we can get a one-on-one, get more in depth about your journey, what made you actually think about pursuing your professional career and then your podcast on the side. So we hope to get you back on the show for a episode all of your own and dive a little deep into Miss Marvel.
That would be
Pun
great.
intended.
Thank you.
Have a great night. Thank you for coming.
Thanks, you too, guys.
Amazing. Now, just because there's two of you and there's a lot to get in, let's hear about Connect the Dot from Mr. Dan Baker. How you doing tonight, Dan? Oh, you muted. Hold on. Let me see if I can fix that. There we go. How you doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. You sound a little low. Let me see if I can remedy that.
So,
all right.
What's going on, man? How's everybody doing tonight?
I can't speak for the ladies, but I'm doing pretty good.
Okay, that's good.
Now, you're not just a podcaster, right? You got a couple other things under your belt.
So, first of all, it's Director Dan Barker, not Baker. So, if you're looking me up, that's like the first thing I would check is just at Director Dan Barker on Instagram. I do a lot of things, man. I've been actually doing music videos for like 2 decades and live events and that sort of thing. And so just a lot of it being hip hop. Connect the Dot specifically is a hip hop kind of a movement, but I've done everything from punk rock to metal to you name it, comedy shows. I booked with Yuck Yucks, which is like the biggest comedy clubs out here. I'm from the Toronto GTA area, so I'm working, doing music videos and grinding it out in the kind of the underground hip hop scene for a while, up until COVID. But I've been also launching many businesses over the years. So from custom clothing to everything from even like the social media business that we have now, the marketing company, websites, all that kind of stuff. I do it with like my wife. My wife's like my main partner, so we're like I don't know, guess kind of like a power couple, if you will. And we do a lot of stuff, but the podcast is something. It's a non-for-profit movement, Connect the Dot, so it's basically we started about 10 years ago, just mainly doing live events, giving back to the community, giving a platform for like hip hop artists and stuff like that. And then the pandemic hit, and we couldn't do live events anymore, type of thing. So that's how the podcast was birthed. We were stuck inside, and obviously I had the film background, and me and Mike Guts, Specs, Don, Dre Specs, DJ Vinci, Prince. We're the main core group, and we've got Hollywood now, our executive producer, who helps produce the podcasts. And so just a lot going on with it, man. But we've been hustling the podcast for about 2 years, and we've done, I think, about 40 episodes or so, something like that. But we just kind of shut it down for a little bit. And we kind of just recently brought it back. And we've now filmed 8 episodes. And it's all pre-recorded podcasts. We bring guests on, local hip hop artists, producers, etc. And then, we just interview them and kind of let them tell the story. And every episode, we review 5 tracks, local hip hop, all Canadian music. But we don't discriminate. So anybody in America that wants to kind of get their music heard out here, feel free to send through. We have a lot of artists from New York to, ATL to just all over the States. I mean, the States obviously is a huge hub, many different hubs of hip hop. But we mainly stick to the Canadian hip hop. That's kind of the vibe, and it's raw vocals over beats. More old school hip hop vibe is kind of what we're pushing. But there's a place for the new school stuff too. And Yeah, man, I've been talking a lot here, so but anyways, I wanted to spit it to you straight, right? Because I heard the last interview, so I kind of already knew the questions.
Right. No, it's all good. But let me ask you real quick.
Yeah.
Now, you said during the pandemic is when the birthplace of Connected Dot happened, but was it what was that
Of the podcast.
of the podcast, right?
Yeah.
But was that something that you always wanted to do? Come out from behind the directing position and come into the limelight, or was it just the breaking point, the catalyst was the pandemic to make you finally take that leap and come in front of the camera?
Yeah, that's a good question. Because to be honest, like I've always kind of been a guy behind the camera, and when we even did all the live events for Connected Dot, a major role that I had in it was like producing the events and then filming behind the scenes, and again behind the scenes. So I'm filming everything else. So this was kind of a way for me to get out front, and from my music career kind of taking off, it kind of helped also kind of plateau, like I guess level up the podcast before we even came out. Plus having all the quality equipment and the know-how of how to actually produce a podcast really kind of helped us like come out as kind of more official than then I guess trying to put ourselves on that level at least, just because honestly it's a platform for local artists, it's a platform for producers, it's a platform for all those guys that don't get that shine, right? That in the underground scene, we have really good talented artists out here that like honestly they deserve to get the play, they deserve to get the buzz. We need more platforms out here. There's not really much of like a foundation out here when it comes to music, like record labels, stuff like that. Like if it's not a Drake, or if it's not like a Tory Lanez, or it's not, certain people, you're
Right,
not
the
really
little
getting
motherfuckers don't get to play. You got to work harder for it.
That's correct. Yeah. So, we really try to do that. There's more coming out now than ever. But yeah, that's really kind of what it was all about. And it's been about that. So, that's kind of the mission, and then also give back to the community. So we have a clothing line. So like we've got like the hat on the head, we've got like the sweater on. We've got tons of t-shirts, long sleeves, tracksuits, all these different kinds of things. And we've been doing that for a long time. And the idea is we make money off the clothing, off the events, and then we basically produce more clothing. And then we go out and we do challenges and we give back. We've done like you'll see it on like our YouTube channel where I dress up as like Santa Claus, and we do like Christmas in July, and like we give away like a Switch, and we give away a whole bunch of clothing. And you'll see our like 100 people point of view skits that we do. It's like more like walking, talking stuff. And that's all about giving back to the community and getting our brand out there and getting the name out there and putting shine. Like that's how we kind of funnel the movement. But yeah, so we're about to launch literally a whole new season of Connect the Dot. We just, like I said, we have 8 in the bank right now. We're just dying to get them out there, and then we're constantly recording. So we film every Monday, and we're constantly trying to bring in different guests. So any artists that might be hearing this, that might want to get some shine, get some play out here in like the GTA Toronto area, you can always contact us at connected.media@gmail.com. And we'd be happy to put you guys on and hear you guys out, and again, live events, so people want to enter our events and stuff like that. There's always opportunity for that. So we are trying to branch out to the States to do events as well. So, and not just the States, like our next goal is to do a full tour around Canada, and then we want to go around America, and then obviously places like Europe and UK, like stuff like that. So
Now, Dan, I will say you kind of took the fun out of this interview for me, man. You answered all the questions before I could even ask them. You took off and you promoted it right before I was going to tell you to promote it. I mean, you got this down to a science already.
yeah,
There's no wonder why you are who you are. You're the man behind the camera. You're the man in front of it because you got the whole plan. And I would love to send you my calendar and get more in depth about Connected Dot, but more importantly, director Dan Baker. What fuels him? Where did he get his drive from? And why is his passion so deep into production and directing? And I assume writing, because you have to produce these shows.
correct. Yeah, for sure.
So definitely, just like Miss Elizabeth Marvel, I will be sending you my calendar link. We got to get you on and for the in-depth one-on-one. We got to know.
Sounds good. And yeah, I'm really interested to find out more about you. You know, I obviously found you kind of randomly, so I started looking into some of your stuff, and always interested to learn more about other people. I appreciate you and what you're doing, and trying to put people on and stuff like that. And yeah, man, hopefully I can even network with you on absolutely whatever, right? Like I'm not even sure what area you're from or anything, so yeah, let's set up a meeting and let's talk. And again, I appreciate you and your time, and for having me out on your platform.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you even more. That's what I'm all about, is networking. We are the So I learned a little while ago, because I was just going to say, we're at the top of the totem pole, but that's not really how it's supposed to go, because the people on the top of the totem pole initially are the weaker ones, because the people on the bottom are carrying all of their weight. So we are the ones down at the bottom scraping for our turn, with all these celebrities and all these people putting their money into these podcasts. We don't get the time to shine. So networking with each other is essential. So thank you very much for coming on, and we will be in contact. Now, this one is going to be a little tough, because I can't put you both on camera at the same time. StreamYard hasn't gotten that down to a science yet, but Miss Natalie, Miss Jen, why don't you tell us a little bit about Another Day, Another Vagina? And please start off with the title.
Well, we heard that you love vaginas.
Right, of course.
Is that right? Okay, all right. That's why we're here. No. Well, really, it's just a play on Another Day, Another Dollar. Except for we work in women's health, so our job is, well, another day, another vagina. So that's where the title came from.
Makes sense. Which also makes sense why you shouldn't be talking about your job. I get that now.
Right.
Right. I get it so much. I work in a nursing home, so HIPAA is a very big thing.
Yes, it is.
For sure.
Now, I'm sure some stories from your job came up. That's why you guys told me you wouldn't be able to speak about any of that. However, what topics can we expect from you ladies on Another Day, Another Vagina?
I mean, we pretty about any and everything. We started this podcast. I had a vision for a podcast, but didn't know where to start. So when I moved, I just recently to North Carolina, and I met Jen, and started a podcast. We realized that a lot of women weren't comfortable within their own skin. A lot of women don't even really know their anatomy, and so we've both been in the healthcare industry for well over 10 years, and even just in women's health in general. And we know that most women had the same concerns, and were afraid to ask certain questions because they were embarrassed. So I said, Jen, let's start this podcast. I think it would help everybody, including men, understand the female body.
And men need to understand the female body.
Yes. Most of our listeners are males, which is amazing.
Yeah, actually, we were pretty caught off guard that we have about 60% male listeners.
Yes.
I don't know why you would be caught off guard, because you have vagina in the title.
That's true. And the hidden focus of our podcast is really about teaching women and men about women's issues and women's health issues. And we just like to deliver it in an entertaining way.
Correct.
So what are some things that you specifically can pull from an episode that you feel would pertain to your certain demographic? Because obviously, if you're talking about women's health, not all of your episodes are going to be catered to the male listener. all of your episodes should be catered to a woman listener because that's mainly what you're talking about is women's health. So what do you think right now that you can pull from an episode you would say would be something crucial that a woman needs to hear?
Well, I think one of our most crucial episodes is we did an episode about breast cancer in young women. And we actually pulled from my own experience of my best friend had breast cancer at the age of 26 and passed away. And we talked about what happened in that, in her life, and then the medical mistakes that were made, the things that were seen that weren't caught on to, and the things that our listeners need to prepare themselves for. They needed to be doing monthly breast exams and going to their doctor like they should. And then another episode we have is called S for Stripper, which is where we have a former exotic dancer come in and tell us all the ins and outs of that life. That was our number one hit for the men. So we like to change it up.
I will say you got it before I did, because when the pandemic was happening and we were just in the middle of really trying to figure out who we were, we wanted, and when I say we, I run 2 podcasts, so there's one coming on right after this in maybe like half an hour that I'm referring to, and we wanted to bring on a stripper and an OnlyFans model to kind of give us the difference of the business and why are more strippers switching over after the pandemic to OnlyFans. So you guys hit it on the head. That is a topic that most men would click for.
Yeah, it was a really great episode. I'm really proud of it. We learned a lot. I guess I said that I would have liked to have been a stripper. I missed my stripping years. But I always thought that world was too dangerous. And I guess we really picked that up for movies. So to hear from the exotic dancer about exactly what does happen in that world. Do they deal with drugs? Do they deal with crime? Do they deal with sexual advances? So you'll have to listen to the episode to find out.
Well, I'll tell you what, most people now are finding out that AI is where everything is at now. And you can be an AI stripper. I don't know if anybody knew that, but you can be an AI stripper in the cloud or wherever the fuck they do it and have these geeks there paying you real coin for fake lap dances, which is amazing.
So you're saying if the podcast doesn't work out, you have a
well, you said you missed your window, so that window is there. There's probably an 80-year-old woman right now doing it, and she looks like she's 20.
Yeah, exactly.
AI is the thing now. Now, where do you see you guys going in the future with Another Day, Another Vagina? Because, like you said, this is something that needs to be out, something that needs to be talked about on a mass scale, because most of the classes now in school aren't teaching this. Most of these women, like you were saying, are too embarrassed to even ask for this information, be it by a doctor or an elder or even a friend. You know what I mean? It's kind of daunting to think about what their responses would be. Where do you see yourself, let's say, in 5 years with Another Day, Another Vagina?
Do you want to take that?
Yeah, we hope to keep putting out an episode weekly. We want to go all the way. We want to be famous. We want to help people. We're going to put in all the work that we can into it. Honestly, we want to reach people, and just let the listeners know that we're just like you. And we want what's best for our listeners. We really do.
I mean,
and,
you really try to make each episode very personal so that people can understand that we relate. Each topic that we discuss, we've either experienced it or we've known someone very close that experienced it. I think that's important for listeners to know that we go through those things as well as they do, and to know that they're not alone.
Yeah, we get real personal.
Yes.
On
Amazing.
our episode, we have an episode, Sex Deal Breakers. You actually get to hear about when I thought about Natalie when I was having sex.
Hey, Natalie, take some wine for the rest of us. Now,
well, you know.
I'll give everybody a moment to come on camera and kind of mingle with each other, because this is what we really need. We need a network of people with similar but different aspects in their own shows to come on to each other's shows and give a visual out their eyes. Now, I have a couple of people that I've interviewed already that kind of fall into all of your realms. So Jen and Natalie, I have a good friend that two good friends of the podcast that come on yearly for our Valentine's Day special. One used to own a adult sex shop. Her name is Jack Jones. She's now pursuing a career in sex therapy. And I have another friend that is also in sex therapy, Dr. Casey. So I'm sure they'd both love to lend their services to your podcast. Dan, I know a lot of people in the States that might want to get their music out there. One guy I know in particular, and a producer by the name of Glitch, and an artist by the name of Fitted Santana, they might want to, stop by and give their professional take on Florida / Pennsylvania-ish rapping, because the producer's in Pennsylvania and the rapper is in Florida. But I did a third podcast called The Takeover, where we kind of did similar things. We had people come on with a little competition, whether it be vocal or verse or battle rap, and check it out. It's on my YouTube. There's a bunch of people on there that you may benefit from. Miss Elizabeth, it's kind of hard to throw you celebrities because I've had very few. Well,
that's okay.
I do have a lot of people that would fall under your realm, though, because although I haven't had A-list celebrities, I've had people who have been in movies. I've had people who wrote hit TV shows such as Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. He wrote that for Fieri and produced it. This guy, I know, he's a good friend of the podcast. He starred in the series for Selena on Netflix. So I can help your networks grow a little bit. So I do appreciate.
I will say I would love to have Jen and Natalie on, because I like to focus on educating people on, like I said, it's unique jobs, but things that maybe people just didn't know was going on in the world around them. I've interviewed my chiropractor as well as his father, who is a medical practitioner. And like I said, I myself just had surgery, and it's a well-known procedure, but people don't know a lot about what goes into preparing for the surgery and then the recovery after the fact. So it would be really great to sit down and talk with you ladies. But my producer, Mike Furman, has 3 Emmys. He used to produce At Midnight. He worked for the MLB Network. He just directed a movie. So thankfully, I do already kind of have that kind of connection there through him. But like I said, it would be great to talk to any of you guys again, because it's just, I love people's stories. That's the whole point.
That would be great. That would be great.
Absolutely.
Amazing. I would, in a heartbeat, just send me your guys' information, and we can make it a thing. I'm usually a very talkative person, and I usually have a lot of questions, but it's my first episode with 4 guests at once. So, and it's interview based, so it's really not my first go around with so many people, but on an interview based podcast, it is.
I got a couple questions. So I got I just first of all, the Vagina show sounds really cool. I think that's I understand why men like it, first of all, because I think it's just like the name right away is gonna get you clicks, right? And then just listening to
the logo too.
Yeah, the logo is gonna get you clicking. I was actually thinking right away, like on the marketing tip, like, man, you could like be sending people like a new vagina every day or something, and it'd be like, subscribe on a monthly thing, and every single day you're getting. Hey, certain guys will sign up for it. Like, I might not be your consumer, but I'm an idea guy, so there's a freebie. But no, that's cool
Yeah.
to listen to all
And
your stories.
we appreciate all the freebies. We really do.
I produce a bunch of podcasts too. So like, one actually in particular is called the Professional Risk Takers, and they it basically interview a bunch of different entrepreneurs. So they're just getting a lot of different entrepreneur journeys and stuff like that. And I've been talking to them about bringing an OnlyFans girl on there because I think that'd be like it's just a different one to bring on, right? Like kind of like they're doing like real estate guys and these entrepreneurs and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden OnlyFans is like
Business is business and money is money.
hey,
Exactly.
some of the most successful people are in OnlyFans.
So we really hit the jackpot with our stripper show, didn't we?
You sure did. I'm kind of jealous. I'm gonna strive for that now.
So I guess my next question that I got is so I know like everybody's goal is to like become super famous and all that kind of stuff, but do you feel like this is more like part of like your mission? It's like a kind of like part of your calling, if you will, or do you think it's something that's like, if I don't make $1 million off this, then I didn't make it type of thing?
No, it's definitely something I enjoy, and I always said, like, I'm doing this for me. If I have just one listener, that's fine, but, thankfully, I've had some pretty consistent listeners, since the beginning, but, it is what it is. I'm doing this purely for me.
Yeah, I mean the same thing for me. I enjoy educating people, and me and Jen, we just kind of balance each other. She's more of the comedy, or I'm more serious, but the two of us together, we vibe so well off each other, and our feedback from our listeners has been wonderful so far. Would we love to be a millionaire from this? Yes, but I just enjoy it for now.
Oh, I'm going all the way. I'm gonna buy a beach house. Y'all gonna come to North Carolina. We're gonna go together. It'll be great.
Sounds like a good party.
I know. Well, things I do at work is like, for instance, I just had a patient. She lost a baby. I've lost a baby in my past. So I talked to her and said, "Look, I understand how you feel. This is how I dealt with it. This is what I did." And when I do those things, I think, wouldn't it be so great if I could help other women that have been through what she's been through? So,
Yeah.
yeah, like Natalie said, we love to do this. It's fun. If we never make a dime, that's okay by me. But the bigger we get and the more people we can reach, the better.
Well, I don't know about y'all, but I'm already famous. I'm just waiting for the money to kick up.
Right?
There you go. Exactly.
You got to keep that mindset, man. So yeah, this is something that I want to do. I've been doing it for almost 4 years, and still really don't see a dime from it. And I love every minute of it. It's like I want to consider my 9 to 5 a side gig and do this full time, but not just podcasting. I want to use my voice. I want to be in the radio business. I want to do voiceovers. Damn it, Mickey's gonna be on the market next year, and I'm gonna take him.
Nice.
Yeah, a little of everything I want to do, man.
Honestly,
Nothing wrong with
I
that.
can tell. I can tell you're super passionate about what you're doing and stuff like that, and you take it serious. And I actually like this format. It's pretty cool. I've never been on like a podcast where it's like there's other podcasters on there, so it was a cool concept. And yeah, no, it's been really cool to meet all of you guys. And I feel like we're just on like a Zoom meeting right now. It's kind of cool, but yeah, no, honestly, for me personally, I came on here because I'm trying to like basically network with other people now. I'm at that point where it's like, okay, I can do, podcasts here, podcasts there. I honestly have some crazy stories to tell. I've been on a bunch of podcasts now. I've been talking about a lot of different things, and we all have our own journeys, right? And they all intertwine with what it is that we do here. And I think that's like why I asked that question, because I really truly just do it out of passion, which Jason pointed out earlier, which was cool, because I guess you feel it when I talk or whatever. Everyone's always says that to me. But honestly, guys, you got to just keep going, like you just said, Jason, and keep it rolling and do what you love, and yeah, push for the top, because it shows, right? When you actually put a lot of effort, you put money and you put your time into it, it actually shows, and you'll get better results, and people will actually give a shit about what you got going on. So shout out to all you guys for taking it this serious.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Thank you very
too.
much. And I appreciate you all for coming. I know I do my podcast late, but it's because not only do I have a 9 to 5, I got kids, I got a wife, so I have to schedule everything late. You guys can all relate. And I find it's better. I might not get 1,000 viewers on live, but it translates when you put it back on the streaming site. So it's whatever. And I don't have to edit.
Right. We don't edit.
No,
No, you
one stop shop.
yeah, that's how you got to do it. One stop, one take, and that's it. That's why we do it live. What other podcasts you guys know do it live?
None.
None, really.
I give you mad props for that too.
Thank you very much. And we are all going to be in contact. The network got to be strong. Thank you all for coming on. I appreciate it. I do have to run because I have another podcast coming up, which means I got to tell you viewers to be sure to like, share, and subscribe to everybody's podcast here because you need this knowledge. You need to know about your vagina. You need to know what the last person, whatever profession it is, sitting at Miss Marvel's table is telling her. You need to know who in Toronto is the hottest rapper right now. You know why? Because like Dan said, we are all intertwined in this journey. So definitely talk junk to everybody, but try not to curse. And remember to connect those dots because another day, another vagina. We love you all. Thank you for coming on. Peter!